What is going on, everybody? This is Antonius the Gamer here with Mikkel Smith and Super SSS Rank. We're here for our second installment in the Anime Corner. Right, like I said from the first one, we have been going back through the original Dragon Ball Z films. We will also be going to the modern Dragon Ball films at some point, but we just want to do something different, add a little extra content for our listeners and our viewers and our fans of just, kind of recollecting and redigesting some of these movies that have been done over the years. And having covered the first three, Dead Zone, The World's Strongest Tree of Might, the next movie that comes up is Lord Slug. Now, for those who haven't seen the movie or don't remember, quick synopsis. There's a meteorite on its way to Earth. Bulma calls up Goku because if it hits the Earth, it'll immediately wipe out the Earth. People start panicking in the streets. Goku and Krillin show up and they're trying to divert it because they can recognize that there's life on that meteorite and they don't want to kill everybody there. So they try to blast it. It doesn't work for reasons that don't quite make sense. Only to find out that the meteorite was housing Lord Slug's spaceship. Lord Slug now has an entire troop and henchmen that are all demons from a demon clan that's, again, never specified. They come to Earth. They start to terraform it because apparently they cannot stand direct sunlight. So they start terraforming the Earth. Earth gets this massive cloud over it. Things turn to ice. Goku recovers, joins the fight with Gohan and Piccolo. It's very, very short in terms of the actual fights. Like Goku and Slug start fighting maybe within 10 minutes of him showing up. And we get introduced to an interesting version of Super Saiyan that fans over the years have coined as false Super Saiyan. Slug is revealed to be a Namekian, which was obvious from the first time you looked at him for more than 2 seconds. But it's made as like this great reveal within the movie. He's a super Namekian who's pure evil, even quote unquote worse than King Piccolo. And they're able to defeat him with a combination of Gohan's whistling, Piccolo giving his ki to Goku, Goku hitting Lord Slug with the attack he used to kill King Piccolo, and then nuking him with a spirit bomb from the heavens. Roll credits. Now, I've been waiting for us to talk about this movie because this is one of those movies where I feel like Lord Slug as a character is one of the first examples we get in the Dragon Ball franchise of the concept was better than the execution, where the idea of an evil Namekian, the idea of a super Namek, the idea of, what would happen essentially, we got the last movie, what would happen if Goku was evil? What would happen if, Demon King Piccolo got all the powers in the world, right? Essentially. And I feel like having seen this movie, even when I was a kid, it just always felt like this is the worst Dragon Ball movie. Like, I know people will say like, oh, Bio Broly's so bad. I'm like, yeah, Bio Broly's not great as a character, but as a movie, it has its moments. It has its moments is what I'll say. Lord Slug, I'm like, I don't remember a redeemable part of this movie. There was nothing in this movie other than maybe the henchmen that I actively enjoyed.
One of the
I hated everything.
One of the henchmen get to enjoy, kid.
Yeah.
This guy right here. Why is he on the cover?
Cousin.
Why is he even on
the
the
cover? No,
no,
that got body. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I said, why is he on the cover?
He never made it off the ship, bro. Crazy. So I feel like, again, I think Slug is saved because it's a good concept in theory. I definitely want to save some of my thoughts about his character when we get into it, but I do, to me, this is easily the worst Dragon Ball Z movie out of the original. I don't think anything even comes close to how bad Lord Slug is. But what did you guys think?
You want to go first, Joey, or I?
No, you good. You Gucci.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to talk about the placement, which was very, very odd. So apparently this takes place after Goku's arrival on Namek, but before his final showdown with Frieza. And that's some of the thing I always feel like that was very weird about these movies. It's kind of like you play, oh yeah, you cover this point, but oh no, but that part didn't happen yet. But how can this person leave from this point to go back to this? But then that's why you just got to consider these movies as what if when you really look at it. Um, the the idea of a super Namek to me it's cool, but it kind of fell flat, especially when you fast forward to the future. And to be honest, like you know, especially as when I rewatched Dragon Ball and how we saw the King Piccolo saga, I was kind of expecting his henchmen to be something of that caliber. Because you
Mm-hmm.
remember, he created all his henchmen like
Mm-hmm.
tambourine, drum,
Symbol.
symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have thought that these henchmen would have been something like of him, like they are his offspring, and and it would have made much more sense, bro. Because I kind of feel like this should have been a movie where Piccolo's mindset is kind of like intrigued.
Yes, bro.
I've like, but no, it just falls flat, and especially like
Yes.
this was around the time of the Namek saga, and the simple fact is, like, we started to get more lore about dynamics. Like, there's two particular clans. There's the Dragon Clan, who are like the mystics, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
the warriors. But it's kind of like there's no Namekian lore. But I just thought, oh, yes, I'm a super Namek. But, like, bro, you didn't do anything but got big like Piccolo, and you just got
And died like King
Wow.
Piccolo.
Yep. I have my thoughts on that, but we still talking about the plot for
orally,
now. So I'm
orally. And it's just like I just kind of feel like, bro, that was just very dumb. And then the other fact about, because I get it though, especially when you jump back to Daima, they saying that the Namekians are a race that originated from the demon realm.
hmm?
So they came from there, and then I guess found another place, and they settled on Namek, and they've become what you call Nameks. That's cool because it makes sense. Because when you really look at it, look at King's Piccolo and Piccolo's fighting style for all their moves. It's like Demon Rush, Demon this, Demon that.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes sense, but it's just like the whole, oh, they can't touch the sunlight. I was like, bro, why is it gotta always be with aliens? It's gotta be some form of terraforming type of like bro, come on, like Dragon Ball Z, you don't really need to go there, bro.
Right. But
And
worse,
then
right?
my
The
thing
tree of light at
about it
least was
is,
cool. This was just like they
and
what?
then my thing about it is, what brought this Namekian to Earth so randomly? Because like even with Turles, like due to what I discovered, oh yeah, you got a call from Raditz or Nappa and Vegeta, and yeah, they went to Earth. I haven't heard from them in a while. Let me go check on that. But this is just he just shows up, and that's it. And then of course, like it's more dialogue with Goku than it is Piccolo. And it's like, bro, like you have a connection to your own race, which you have an actual interest for, because when you look at it, bro, you was born as an orphan. All your brothers were dead, your daddy was dead, and due to
Yeah.
where this take place, whatever, we don't even know if this was the part where Piccolo was wished alive.
That was my assumption. My assumption was that this happens after he fused with Nail. But like you said, they don't talk, so I don't know. I don't. There's him and Piccolo and Slug talk for maybe 30 seconds, and throughout the whole movie, like have an actual dialogue with each other. So it's. I have no earthly idea where this takes place in terms of who's powered up, other than like you said, is right before Goku fights Frieza. So that's why the reason why I said that, like, if that's the case, then Piccolo would have been brought back to life and would have fused with Nail. But we don't know because he's out for half the movie after shielding Gohan from a couple of key blasts. But go on, Tim.
Bro, and it's like even the Super Saiyan transformation part that was very hollow to me because it's like all he did was just crush his hand and like, bro, he's in the Maki and he's just going to grow that back.
And then when he does grow it back, it shocks you out of being Super Saiyan.
And I'm
You're
just
so
like,
caught off guard, you lose the transformation.
and and that's the part where I kind of feel like this was the first major sign. Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna focus on Goku that went south.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave this movie a 3. It was boring. It was very forgettable. It was very, very boring and forgettable. It really was.
Yeah, this movie felt like an episode of, you know, when you wake up Saturday morning and it just so happens to be uh end of season finale, close to the season finale, but not really quite close to the season finale for your WB cartoon programming. And they give that terrible episode where it's just like nothing really happens. Nothing really goes anywhere. Villain of the week.
Mm-hmm.
This felt like a villain of the week. So you're gonna terraform Earth to turn it into a ship. What's wrong with the ship
Yeah.
that you had before?
I want a bigger ship.
And it's like number one, when I saw how trash of a captain he was, I'm like, yo, why would anybody want to serve you, dog? Like, uh, you said I'm old? You- I said, I said, I said, wait, oh, what? You serious? You minion one? How long will it take? Well, if I'm honest, 3 days. Yeah. I'm like, dog, we only this
We just got here.
ain't no way I could like you, dog. And I'm like, man. And I was just like, I said, okay, this is crazy, dog. So I'm watching him. He gets the Dragon Balls. Boma, who works at Capsule Corp,
I mean, well, she is technically the heir.
she she gets her mind read
Which
because
is
she blurts out, okay. Um, and then after that, but even before he even shows up, Piccolo and Piccolo's listening to the music. He goes through this Morpheus Morpheus psychosis, dog. I'm just like, dog, you for real, man? So you mean to tell me a star blowing up don't distort your ears, but tambourines and and a dragon dancing? All right, man. Okay.
Especially a person where your whole clan and brothers were named after musical instruments. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, bro, you have a brother named Tambourine.
Yeah, yeah.
keep going.
And so now we get to his henchmen. I like the designs, they were unique, right? They were unique.
Mhm. Some of
It's
them a
just
little they borrow a little heavily, right? Like there's the one where
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is
He looks
clearly
just like
Zarbon and
yeah,
Dodoria.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but with horns
And
and wings.
with horns and wings, man. And then man, so now you finally get to Lord Slug showing up. I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the funniest part with Krillin. Krillin goes up, I'll take him on. Yeah. Whoosh. You got this one, Goku. That was beautiful. That was hilarious. Um,
Okay, I'll give you that.
that was hilarious. But nothing got. I'll tell you when Cooler returns, nothing got to that one part with the. I'll tell you what part had me done. To this day, it still has me rolling when we
Okay.
get to it. But this movie was just. He wishes to be young again versus wishing for a new ship. So what if you didn't find the Dragon Balls? What would have you have done? You would have terraformed the planet anyway, and then just. So what's your objective? Like, hey man, I'm young now. Let me bang it. And I'm just blown away. I like not blown away, but I'm trying to understand this. Yo, this movie ain't good, man.
Keep
So
going.
now Goku shows up. Goku, of course, beats everybody. No Tien, no Yamcha. Um,
Oh, remember they're dead in this timeline.
they're dead in this timeline, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Goku went to Namek, beat the Ginyu Force, came back with Piccolo, then went back
And fought Frieza.
and
And
fought
yeah.
Frieza.
Mm-hmm.
You can't consider it that far because, bro, once you explain it out loud, it just sounds so crazy. Like, wait, what?
Keep going.
Yeah, so I'm just like I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You didn't think about bringing Vegeta with you? So you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, this is insane.
Mm-hmm.
So it took you all that time to get to Namek, and you come back in a jiffy. Okay. Uh, let's keep going, man. So now we get to the fight. Goku fights the henchmen, which is what the henchmen were cool, right? Some of them were
I like
interesting.
I like Meta Matcha, the one that's like
Yeah,
has the weird eyes, and I'm like, I
yeah,
like
yeah.
this was very unique. I liked it.
He was
I
he
did.
was
I
creepy.
can't.
He was
Yes.
creepy. And I like this version of Gohan because Gohan was brave. Gohan saw what was happening. What? No. And he went to the down, started tagging the henchmen. I said, all right, Gohan. Teachy
Mm-hmm.
lasted all but 2 minutes, as Chi usually
But
does.
yeah,
But
but
she
she
did
did.
something,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so now, it's just like you would think that Lord Slug would do everything in his power to, hey, man, another Namek? two Namics together? But of course he wouldn't, right? He just blasted his henchmen, two of them for not even for saying he was old. All right, my man, you would not want anything to do with Mace, though, if Mace showed up. You feel me? Man, you an old man. You feel me? We not supposed to respect you. Why? You know what I'm saying? So like after that, those henchmen died pretty bad. Like yo, Metamacha, his guts, he was just coughing out blood, man. He was dead. And then homeboy, yeah, I got him. Like, yo, that's the oldest trick in the book. You gonna dig underground in front of me? And then Goku gave him a mouthful, and he. I don't know if you ever watched Judge Dredd with Kyle Urban, but yeah, that hot shot. Oh boy, I was like, yo, this was a terrible death.
Mm-hmm.
So now you go to the false Super Saiyan, and it just doesn't.
It doesn't
King Kai
stick.
come out of nowhere. Oh no, this is more terrible than terrible. I'm like, yo, so you mean to tell me you didn't try to communicate with Goku even before that, or do anything? Now you just show up, and I'm like, this movie all over the place, and there's no thought behind it. If he's a super Namek, couldn't he have called the Dragon Balls? Why does he even?
What is a supernamic?
Great question, Tim.
What is
Keep
a
going.
what is a supernamic? Because from what I see in this movie, you just got back some of your youth and you just started fighting and you just got big. I was like, bro, Piccolo did the same thing. And then my thing about it is, bro, like how could you go from such a compelling story like King Piccolo to this? It's like there's nothing here that sticks. There's nothing about this that just makes it like such a very satisfying piece. And it's like, bro, yeah, this is very skeptical. It kind of feels like if this was like, an actual series, like, bro, this is like filler. Like, oh, nothing really
Mm-hmm.
matters here.
Mm-hmm. Nothing matters. Like Jory always says about certain things, nothing made it past the first draft. There was never a revision. There was never like, let's figure out how to make this tie together. If you want to kind of get into the little format, though, you have it broken down. I feel like villain wise, like you said, Tim, about the Super Namekian. As I'm watching the movie, I'm like, you didn't even have to do much to make him different, right? If you told me being a Super Namekian means he has instant regeneration, right? Let's say Goku punches a hole through him, his body immediately heals, right? Or like he can gigantify certain parts of his body, right? He doesn't have to go fully big. He can make his arms stretch out like he's Gear 3 Luffy. All of this is a lot more compelling than what I'm seeing right now in front of my screen. I'm not seeing anything that makes me feel like this guy is a problem. Nothing. The choreography was garbage.
He went out.
Garbage.
He went out like Vilgax the first episode of Ben 10, man. So it was just like villain of the week. I'm like, this episode of Ben 10, man. he
Yeah,
was
I'm just like,
Vince.
bro, like someone really wrote in their storyboard. So yeah. So Piccolo rips off his ears while laughing like a maniac, tells Gohan to whistle so he could give Goku the remaining of his ki, and somehow that'll get it done. That will finish.
Because he had super ears.
Yeah, he has super ears, right? Nothing
So
like
super damage.
right. Nothing says weakening a Dragon Ball villain like whistling, right? And again, I'm cool with gimmicks, right? I think that's one of the things that we always kind of critique about Dragon Balls, like everything kind of becomes like power levels, and I'm glad that it didn't always boil down to that. But essentially, what you're telling me is that at any point, if Gohan had started whistling, this movie would have ended 20 minutes ago, and that's my problem. Like that means nothing that Lord Slug did mattered.
Mattered.
Nothing mattered. Nothing. No, there was no way he was ever going to get it done because if they figured out his weakness, it was a wrap. So,
Because, and you know what also would have been an interesting story to me? Like, you remember, I mean, even though technically this arc was a horrible arc, too. Remember in the Granola arc when we met another Namekian and you found out that, like, a lot of them are refugees. Oh, well, some of them left the planet and then, they live as refugees in other places. I feel like even that could have been an interesting story. Like, so What has this Namekian, who's obviously into crime,
Mm-hmm.
what does he do around the galaxy? Because I get it. This was the era of Dragon Ball Z where they started to get more into like space villains. Okay,
Yes.
of course. Jory, said it best, and you find out that exactly what is the truth. Turles was part of the Frieza Force, and he deviated. So, okay, in the midst of this universe, who is this Namekian? And it kind of sounds redundant, but space pirate. When you really
Yeah.
look at it, invader. So like, what is his whole purpose, bro? Like, yes, Namekians have a longer lifespan than most life forms, but it's just like, where's this going?
Yeah. Why is he with these demons? Where did he meet them? Why do they have a spaceship? Why? What is, like you said? What have they been doing? If Slug is this old, what has he been doing for these?
I'll
I'm
say
assuming hundreds of years.
I'll say this. He's probably the closest thing we'll ever get to knowing who and how Garlic Jr. Dad character was actually Garlic Jr. Dad would have been actually as a character. This is probably the
That's fair.
closest thing. This is exactly who I imagine him to be. Killing a minion within 30 seconds just because he called him old.
It's garbage, bro. It's garbage.
It's
It's
trash.
garbage.
Yeah,
And to be
it's
honest, bro, I
trash.
feel like there's nothing more we could really say about this particular movie. I feel like we could just move on to
Well,
Oh
the
yeah.
Golden Boy.
I gotta hit our format. It's only fair, right? And you're talking
Hmm.
about somebody who hates this movie. Did you feel the way that the heroes were utilized in this movie made sense? When
No,
you see Goku going fake Super Saiyan and
no, no. No, it was redundant, man. Like I said, man. Even the villains' designs, like yes, of course, they're taking a lot of stuff from like Frieza's like army inspiration, and they kind of try to fuse it with King Piccolo because I see the
mm,
dragon wings and stuff like that. But I
mm-hmm,
still feel like it would have made sense, especially on the scale with Piccolo's iteration and even Goku, even Krillin. Like imagine seeing villains that nearly almost obliterated you in the Dragon Ball saga. Like, you remember Tambourine killed Krillin.
mm-hmm.
Tambourine killed Krillin. King Piccolo killed Master Roshi and Chaozu. It's like that would have been so interesting to see. Like, yes, they're not the same people, but they have similar features. And you could have you could have experimented with their names a bit like that. Because because with Piccolo, everything was either a musical item. So Slug, like, what would you name your henchmen?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you name them that gives them kind of like a connection to you? And I felt like that would have been great, bro. It would have hit on the Dragon Ball nostalgia. You could have advanced more about the Namekian lore. Like maybe him as a super Namek, depending on which clan he was from, he knows different techniques. And that could have like opened up Piccolo's like curiosity, like, wow, I could do so much more
Yeah.
that I didn't know. But nope.
But
You
yeah.
got a color palette Super Saiyan that I hope Xenoverse don't get no ideas.
Hey, bro. With the way they going, crystal redstone sticking out your body, and now you're a different character. It's
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 crazy.
not.
It's
It's they
crazy.
mad double back.
Him and Tapion got the same clothing on, technically.
Yeah, I mean, but this is from an era where there was a lot of let's call them inspired designs
Okay.
amongst the movie properties. But
All
yeah,
right.
I mean, we can pretty much move on. I think, I mean, again, like I know we're gonna cover Bio Broly at some point. I just when I look at everyone's like, oh, Bio Broly, it's unquestionably the worst movie. I'm like, listen, have you watched Lord Slug recently? This is a disaster movie. This is something, again, this is something where like he's saved by the fact that he's just not as bad as a concept
Even
as Bio
Spark,
Broly.
even Sparkling Zero couldn't save him in that boring moveset. They did a straight Tenkaichi 3 copy and paste. They
What
didn't
else
even
could they have done?
try.
They don't know. There's nothing to pull from. he,
They
he
didn't.
didn't
They
do
didn't
anything.
even. They didn't even try, bro. I was like, let me guess. Oh, darkness eye beam. Oh, darkness blast. Grow
Yeah.
giant.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mouth
like, bro, you
blast.
have the exact same moveset from a PS2 game. Wow.
He did nothing. He did nothing. So yeah. This movie is a 1 out of 10 for me. It's like I said, it's the worst. It's the worst. I don't have nothing to say um to redeem it. I like the fighting landscape. I'll say the abandoned city thing was kind of cool.
That was cool.
Um, it's always interesting and refreshing when Dragon Ball brings in new environments. I thought that was interesting, but other than that, I'm like,
Yeah,
I
because the first three
hate
movies
this
was
movie.
very hard left in terms because you had this demonic looking castle for the first one.
Hmm?
The second one was some ice cyber dome. The third one, oh yeah, giant tree that's
A
turning the
giant
world into
parasite
a
tree.
wasteland.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll give it that. I'm like, out of especially because of the movies we're about to cover. I'm like, to be fair, it's a very unique setting compared to even the next movie we're going to talk about. So that's kind of where I'm at on Lord Slug. Now to move on to, like Tim said, the golden childs of the movies, right? The name who comes up immediately, probably right after Broly, when you think about movie villains, Cooler, the older brother of Frieza. Now,
The brother
in
that
this
does it
first,
better.
the one that does it better. Now, in this movie, again, quick plot synopsis. Goku and friends are out on a camping trip. Actually, I take that back. Initially, there's a flashback scene of Goku's ship
Yes.
escaping Namek. I'm sorry, escaping Planet Vegeta when he's a baby. Cooler has the chance to shoot it down. He decides not to, just to make take a shot at Frieza. Frieza not taking his job seriously. It fast forwards where Goku's an adult. They go camping. Cooler Squadron shows up, kind of jump the gang. Goku shows up, and trying to beat the deadbeat father of the year allegations, rightfully so, because it's just a negative narrative. Goku jumps in front of a blast meant for Gohan and takes critical damage. He's able to get away. Essentially, they play hide and seek for a majority of the movie. We're just calling it for what it is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gohan's sent on a mission to go to Korin and get some senzu beans. He flies on Icarus. On his way back, he gets jumped by the squad. Piccolo shows up, puts on an MVP performance
Yeah.
until Cooler shows up. Hall of Fame uncle performance. Two and one for sure. At that point, Goku gets the senzu bean, is revived, fights on fairly equal footing with Cooler. Cooler shows a transformation, probably one of the coolest original movie designs we've ever seen
Yes.
in terms of forms, and embarrasses Goku. Then Goku sees a bird collapse. It reminds him of his friends. He turns Super Saiyan and it goes quiet, which in my mind, I'm like, well, there goes the credits. Cooler's the only one who don't realize the movie's over now. And he
Mhm.
tries to hit Goku one more attack. Goku blasts him into the sun. And Cooler has a flashback of having had the chance to have killed him when he was a harmless baby, only to be defeated. Now, with this movie, again, we'll go through our little general thing. What did you guys think about the plot of this movie?
The plot was good. To be honest, this is actually one of the first movies that it has a very subtle ground where it could fit into the story. Because
Yes.
obviously this is after Frieza, but you could tell this was the part where Vegeta was going through his space tour where he was taking out the rest of Frieza's army at the time. And it was before, like, of course, the androids and all that other good stuff. Like, you could tell, like, yeah, this was probably like right after Trunks.
Right.
Right after Trunks, hey, I'm back. We haven't seen each other in a while. Let's go on a camping trip together.
Sometime during that 3-year training period,
Yeah.
it
So,
feels
like,
like.
it could actually fit into this scenario. And,
Mm-hmm.
remember, even the whole Transformer, the Super Saiyan, like, well, oh, why didn't he just do it? I was like, well, bro, you realize he just learned that. And he learned that from Rage. Well, actually, no, I take
He
that back.
learns. He learned to control it before he came back.
But then that is the key part. Like, why didn't he just do it like how he did with Trunks? Oh, actually, yeah, bro, I got to take that back. That is a plot hole.
I've seen that a lot. I don't think it's a plot hole, right? I think what we've known to be true about Goku, right, and it shows up even when we're going to talk about Enter 13. It's like there was a point where him transforming was like the absolute last resort. Like you see a couple of movies, especially in the next two movies we're about to talk about, like Goku only turned Super Saiyan because there was no other options. Like I can't beat this guy. I'm not getting anywhere. So to me, I'm like, it could be plot holish. To be fair, like I do think there is a little thing of like, why didn't he just body everybody? But there is that part of like, but we all know how Goku gets down. Like Goku's the type of person who's like, bro, you could have just gone Super Saiyan 3 from the gate and just murdered like in half of these like skirmishes, and he doesn't. So it feels like it's like, but also kind of on brand with the character. Like we know how he gets down.
Okay. I mean, but overall, it was a great movie. Some of the early plot stuff was a bit boring for me, but I gave it like overall like a 7, man. Like I said, Cooler's demeanor, even from the flashback at the beginning, like when his henchman was about to like shoot the shit, he's like delay that order, and like the way he talked about Frieza, I was like, wait, Frieza is he like a child? And I was like, wow, like yes, aliens age differently. Like he might be a child, and this is the older brother who the father probably didn't really care for like that because King Cold has made it pretty clear Frieza is
It's his
is the
special,
golden
yeah.
child, and like the way he was talking, like when Frieza was like laughing at the planet like being blown up, he's like you're so disgusting, like you don't even know who could have got away. That could have been somebody who could have come back and be a real problem, and you just laughing at the matter. And then, but of course, in his own subtle calmness, he was like, "All right, we'll just let it go, I guess, whatever."
Yeah.
But then that universal call gets around. Somebody, oh yeah, Frieza went to Earth and never came back. Okay, now we gotta. And then I was like, finally, somebody who has a reason to come to Earth. He got that call, like, hey, all right, let's go check it out. Pull up, you know, the whole
So is this after
force.
Cell?
No.
No, no,
This
Okay,
is
I'm about to
it's
say.
before
this
that.
is where Tim is saying, like, this is where the people have guessed the timeline is. It's after Frieza, after Namek, but during that 3-year training period before the androids show up. So if you remember, Trunks shows up, gives him the medicine, goes back to the future, and then
Okay.
Goku goes on like a train. Him, Gohan, and Piccolo are training during that time
Oh,
period,
you know what I
and this
just
is before the
realized?
androids.
Remember, in Trunks' original time, Trunks never showed up. It was Goku who came, like, did instant transmission and defeated them. So you never may know. He probably
Yeah,
this could come from another timeline point of view when you really look at it. So that's very interesting. But yeah, like it was cool for what it was, man. Piccolo when he fought them 3 henchmen, bro, that was dope. The first one, Mini Hulk blasted
got him
away.
out of here.
The second one, like I love like Piccolo's like craftiness in battle when he thought he had him, like he was like shocking him to death. He's like, and then they was throwing so many remarks and like, oh look, what is a Namekian doing out here? They was like, oh yeah, Frieza blew it up. He's like, oh yeah, yeah. But then like when Piccolo was like laughing while he was getting shocked and he grabbed dude and just transferred the elect. I was like, bro. And then of course the last dude, Zarbon's cousin, frat brother, did not stand a chance at all. Like if Piccolo had one like 30 more seconds, like bro, you'd have been
He
dead.
would have been gone, done for.
When Cooler and Goku fought again, that was a very impressive battle, and I like the fact that they included information that okay, this is like how Frieza's final form was when he transformed against Vegeta, and that was like his final form. Cooler like gave us confirmation, like yes, that's the same form that you see me in, but I found another beyond it. And then just to see it take place, and it's just and what he did, like bro, I tell people to this day, when he was swimming through the Kamea wave, I was like, and just pimp smack Goku, I was like, but then you get Golden Frieza, and I'm just like,
You know what I'm gonna say, but Tim, the toys. Come on now.
I was like, bro, like you have the blueprint, you
No,
have the blueprint, like
action
yeah,
figure.
you ain't gotta make him look exactly like him, but it's like, bro, a color palette,
You can't disagree
bro.
with Toriyama, Tim. Come on now. You know better than that.
And then of course, Cooler does the
Toriyama
super.
designed Golden Frieza, bro?
Yes.
No, but the best part of the movie was that the music, bro. The music delivered in many parts of the movie. Like when Cooler did the supernova and Goku was struggling, that music that was playing, and it just even when Goku blasted him into the sun, like when he had that realization, like, wait, this is the kid I let go. and it's like he felt so hurt, like because you could tell Cooler and Vegeta are very similar. They have very similar demeanors. They have a very huge level of pride in their race. So, and that's why I kind of felt like I wish they had more dialogue amongst each other or made him a canon character because they are real
Oh,
good.
he's coming. He's
They
coming.
are they are very similar in many many aspects, bro.
Once they
But
saw what
yeah,
the Brawley movie numbers did, bro, Tarzan Brawley, don't you worry. Cooler is right there on the
no, but he's
on the
he's a, he's he's a fan favorite, man. When it comes to movie characters, you already know it's Bardock, Cooler, and
Which
Dragon Ball
Bardock?
Z,
Which Bardock?
Dragon Ball
Z
Z,
Bardock. Yeah,
Z
The
Z
Bardock,
okay,
Bardock.
that's
Yeah.
the
Z
okay.
Bardock,
Okay, good.
Z Bardock, Z Cooler, and Z Broly. They are always in it. Even when it comes to the covers, bro, they're on the
Even
covers
when it
too.
don't make sense, they're in
Yeah,
it.
and of course, honorary mention. Janimba comes later down the line because
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
he's Janimba. But yeah, like this was a solid 7 out of 10 for me, and for many good reasons.
Okay. That's right. What about you? What do you think about the plot?
Oh, simple. I, I
Yes.
feel like Dragon Ball Z flourishes when the plot is simple.
Hmm.
Plain and simple. When the plot's simple, it's Dragon Ball Z's the best. It becomes the best version of that simple storyline
Hmm.
within the world of Dragon Ball Z. So that's how I feel about it. I I think everything about the that's my one of my top five villains. He's number two on my list. Yeah. I say like he's one top five villains.
Now you know why I
'Cause-
gave you that wink. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, cause Tim's pretty much said everything I could say about Cooler, but Cooler Cooler's demeanor let you know that he was on like a brainiac level. He was a very, very master
Precise.
of tactician.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, his threat and his presence there was like, oh, this man is a problem. You know what I'm saying? And then the second movie is more of a testament to how sick he is.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely,
and
definitely.
it's just like, man, oh man, Cooler. I could see Cooler becoming an Aizen easily with if you give him time.
Mm-hmm.
If they allowed him to come into the Dragon Ball Z universe, Cooler would be the number one problem, and he would just be that DC villain written by Bruce Timm, and to where you're like, yo, I don't know what the Justice League gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all got Superman on the team, and
It's
and
still
and
looking
it's
a
just
little
and
dire.
yeah, it's the
He's
situ
built for longevity, man. He really
yeah.
is. And even the reason why he got a sequel, because a lot of people felt like the moment the action started to pick up, it was over. And that's where, the next movie that came along, it was like that King
we
Skull Island movie.
we gonna talk about it,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
we gonna get to
It's on the
we gonna
docket.
get to but yeah, man, I think his introduction, man, and his cut to me, number one, his design. I didn't think you could make a design because Frieza design was cool. It was very alien,
Mm-hmm.
but I never saw myself drawn to Frieza's race as like a character or like uh the reason why I picked Frieza's race was because of Cooler. And I main that race was because of Cooler. I
Mm-hmm.
said, yo, if Cooler's design to me was just that's like, yo, why does this dude look like Frieza but better? And and um
Which
and
is
I was
crazy
just
when you think about it, because Frieza has, like you said, a top tier design. Like if you think
his
about how
color
Frieza's
scheme,
forms are,
yeah.
they're really good.
Frieza's final form.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like that's a SSS rank style design. But Cooler is four S's. Just base Cooler is four S's. And I think what helps his character even more is his demeanor, man.
Yeah.
Cooler's watching this entire battle from his little cockpit. Bardock dies. Oh, it's over. Let me go back to filing my taxes myself, henchman. And so now I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, so now Cooler, he finally finds out that, Frieza's dead, so now he heads to the planet. We skip and a lot of the moments to me, I liked Cooler's Ginyu Force.
I
Cooler's
was gonna ask when we talked about the villains, what you think about his squad essentially. Like
yeah,
what you
his yeah. To me his squad wasn't cooler than Turles, but they were effective.
I was gonna say I feel like they help with the lore of the world,
Yeah,
like
they do.
because like
They do.
you, it made me think when I was rewatching it, I was like, and they've kind of confirmed this through the games, out of all places, like that whole like the Ginyu Force, Cooler's Armored Squadron, they all come from like the same school, like it's like almost like an academy of
Yeah.
some sort of like special forces, and apparently Saza and Jace have beef. Like they don't like each other.
Wow.
So it's like in terms of like that quiet, like, when you guys are talking about world building, I'm like, that's interesting that like there's this whole thing of like somewhere along the way there's somebody that like sends these aliens to school with aspirations of joining the Frieza Force.
Hmm. But again, that's where we write the lore, right? And not the creators. So
Mm,
yeah, so with Cooler, his design, the introduction, um, more lore on his race. That was another thing that was cool. More lore on his race, and to like to show you how crafty cool. It just more of a testament to how cool who Cooler is, man. Like, yo, I found another one past my brother's form. He's not trying. He's
mm,
not trying. He's lazy. Who's to say I don't have one past this one? This final form is only final for now. That's what I felt when Cooler was talking. It didn't
mm,
feel like, yo, he was satisfied with that. You know what I'm saying? With that part of him. And so, you go on, but to skip all the henchmen, one of the henchmen I did enjoy was the one that could, like, he'll move his head to
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought that was it made his character unique, man. I kind of wish he fought more a little longer, but you know, his Ginyu Force was dope, man. Um, and the fact is just a little camp, father and son supposed to be chilling. Camp camp gets destroyed. The cookout gets destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So Cooler decides to do a drive by. Oh, no, no, man. My goons found you. Hey, yo, Cooler, he had this. And so Piccolo gets a little shine, some shine, man. That's dope.
And not a little shine,
A lot of shine.
MVP.
MVP, man. And then until Cooler shows up and gives him the old signature move.
Right, but
Bro,
but
that
that
was
was
a scene.
it was beautiful. It was
Like,
so beautiful.
like as you hear, like he's like Salsa, leave it to me, and then literally that split second, dude.
The thing is like one of the things that like you guys mentioned earlier, but like the thing that like impresses about Cooler is like as far as he knew, he killed Piccolo. Like in the movies how they kind of beat them into unconsciousness. I'm like, bro, he shot him through the chest off jump immediately.
No
Even
time,
with
didn't
Goku, like
care.
he went for
Yeah.
the kill shot from go. I'm not doing this whole let's play. No,
Well, apparently,
get done.
according to Namekian law, if their head is intact, they could regenerate.
Yeah, but he doesn't know anything about Namekians. He shot him through the chest, bro, out the gate.
Yeah, if that was a human, that would have been dead.
Yeah. And then picked up the
Yeah.
body, tossed it to Goku, and blew it up again.
Yeah. I mean, man, the like, yeah. Like, man. And his eyes when he was doing it. Did you get a chance to look at his eyes? It was like, man, I see, yo, this guy doesn't. They're getting the character's facial, his posture, his behavior, his manners. He acts nothing like Frieza.
Oh, and they remember they also thought he was Frieza. And
Mm-hmm.
then, because I
They
remember
did,
when one of
yeah,
the henchmen is like, he's like, Frieza, you will not give up your easel. And Salsa's like, that's not Frieza. This is Lord Cooler. This is Frieza's brother, and it's like, oh, there's another one of you.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So now you like, man, how many siblings does he have? Is there, how many siblings does Frieza race have? What is the Frieza race? And more questions was like, I'm like, man, these guys are deadly. I was terrified. Now you got more of these guys in space, and King Cold was the strongest one.
Supposedly, we don't know. We
Supposedly,
don't
Supposedly,
know.
yeah,
supposedly,
You know
yeah. But
that hierarchy.
so now, we finally get to the showdown. Goku's, rejuvenated, and now they start fighting. This is where Cooler became. I didn't care no more. This was it. They start fighting. He says, "Hey, man, Goku, I hate to break it to you, but the form that you fought Frieza in, I'm in right now." Tim, to go parry what you to tag on to what you said, he said, "Oh, there's one above it. He don't just transform into a slimmer version. He goes for brute force,
brute force with speed.
brute force with speed. So now, yeah, like how long you been training in this, dog? He's
Yes,
not slow. He's not. And then the thing
He's
is,
not losing power.
He
Yeah,
could revert back too.
you
So I was
know,
like, I'm like, and
you
I'm
know what's
thinking, I said,
crazy? You know how a design person knows they snapped when they gave him the face mask because it served no greater
no
purpose. It's
purpose,
just
no purpose,
they know
no
they're just
purpose.
like this don't mean
But that
a
killed it.
thing,
That cut,
but
cut, 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 cut.
it's
That to me, I lost my mind when I saw it because he looked better. He looks better without the
it
face
fits more
mask.
within the transformation.
But
Yeah,
when
but then
he
with the
puts on the Bane mask, it really believes that my power would be limited. I was like, nah, this was genius, dog.
yeah.
Because now he's even more terrifying. It's
Whoever
he's
designed that
more
was getting dapped up in the office when the story, but like, yo, we got one.
yo, man. Don DeMarco. Don DeMarco. Yo. So when he transforms, man, and then listen, man, there's so many scenes from that one movie when they're fighting. When Cooler goes into the air, Goku rushes from him. He disappears. He hits him with the elbow.
Hmm.
He just Goku rushes him again. The camera pans out. Bomb. Goku gets hit again. Then Goku decides to cut in front of him. He disappears, and he, with the same elbow that he parried him, he decides to drop it on him and keeps the. I said, "Oh, I said, hey, I'm not gonna lie. If he lived long, he would have gave Cell problems because he was more perfect than Cell in his posture, his confidence. Then the dragon kick that he gave Goku on the mountain. That's the most iconic kick of all time. It was so iconic they took it from Street Fighter and they put it on with Goken versus Street Fighter for the Street Fighter Ultimate
Mm.
Super Street Fighter. Listen, man, that's not even what got me, man.
I like the punch more.
The wait, it's coming, it's coming. There was a scene where Goku he punches Goku on the ground, then adds more pressure and parts the waterfall. Then punches Goku again in the water. So I'm now my excitement. I'm standing up watching this. Now you gotta understand. I'm like what 10 years old maybe, and I'm watching the VHS tapes in Japanese. So I'm just like yo, this is what they gotta deal with in the upcoming years of Dragon Ball Z. Because those movie villains, he's better than anything for me than the Buu Saga. I'm just gonna be real. There's parts of the Boo saga, yo, we could do without.
Yeah,
Fat Boo, Fat Boo was more interesting when I think about it than Kid Boo, man,
by far.
by far. Right? But we'll talk about that later. But I'm not gonna go off track. But man, my goodness, this guy Toriyama knows how to use pink, and that whoever thought of that maroon or that magenta for cooler, I just I just felt like that fight right there, man, was just beyond. Even it was so crazy that when they finally dubbed the Cooler fight in English and they started releasing in the US, and you remember them they had the Burger King toys? We
Mm-hmm.
fought over them toys. Even though they got the color scheme wrong for Cooler, he still looked good in blue. Right? They got the color scheme wrong, kid.
Mm-hmm.
But the I mean everything Cooler the thing Cooler was doing, here's another thing that made Cooler fight. His feats that he was showing on screen. He was showing feats on screen, right? That's why a lot of people probably gravitate towards a lot of the other characters because of there were feats on screen that they performed. And Cooler has more feats than anybody because he had two films. It's not fair, but he had two
It's
films.
not.
But
But the
man,
thing that
and what he
gives him an advantage of that is that both of his films are fire. That's the difference.
A1,
That's
man. A1 storytelling, man. And
fire.
so and so now, man, Tim, he does the Kamehameha. And in my mind, this is the Blue Eyes White Dragon's neutron blast. This is it, man. XYZ canon. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I sacrifice all my cards for this. He does the blast. Cooler swims in it. And the speed. Cooler stands for a couple of seconds,
Yeah.
charges, and then we don't see Cooler no more. Then pop surprise. And dog, then that's when that combo started. Then he gives that famous dragon kick to the chest. I was like, Goku, that right there, Goku was done. And then he falls on the floor. I'm like, yeah, this is over, man. And Cooler's like, I'm done, man. Y'all, I'm done with this planet. Cooler ascends to the sky, gets ready to drop the Star Blast. Um, only thing now you know that this is a Frieza race thing. This is what they do. They have some type of special beam that they make,
Like a family, yeah, family lineage. But
family lineage
yeah,
attack, and Goku
it's the
turns Super Saiyan.
Kamehameha of the Frieza clan.
Yeah, it's the Kamehameha of the Frieza clan, and so now they fight, and it is what it is. Goku, he dies the worst out of everybody, man. He gets
I,
blasted to the sun,
uh, I,
blasted to
there's
the.
a couple movies later on that we'll talk about that I
Okay,
think might surpass, but it's up there. It's
yeah,
definitely up there for
yeah.
sure.
So
But there's a couple other
he
movies where I'm
dies.
like, fam, yo.
He he dies pretty bad, man. And so
I
now
mean,
he
well,
realizes,
technically, he didn't die.
yeah, yeah, technically, yeah, no, right?
Yeah,
But after that, for that finish, man, the Kamehameha to the sun is crazy. That's crazy.
yeah.
And the speed that he reached the sun, man, that was insane. This was
Because it lets
beyond
you
light
know, like there was
speed.
nothing he could do. Like, fam,
There
you're
was
not.
nothing he could do. He was yeah. So it was just like okay, the Kamehameha blast had more focus, juice. And to be honest with you, Goku depleted all his energy into that blast.
Mm,
And so there you go. And this is Goku grunting. We ain't never see Goku grunt ever. Goku straight Jim Lee Magneto with the saliva and Wolverine, whatever, getting maxed out into the sun. So this is a 9 for me, man. 9.5.
okay.
Yeah, this is my favorite movie. Um Favorite villain. Everything about the film made sense. Nothing felt it didn't overstay its welcome. Although I would have liked a little bit more time during the fight, but at the same time, what we got, what Cooler did, the villain was a threat. The villain only lost because he could open another gate.
Yeah.
So that's
I
it,
would
man.
say my thoughts on it. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. Really, my only critiques with it was something that Tim pointed out earlier. The first half is a little slow. It's like that gap between when they're looking to figure out a way to get Goku healthy again, and the legit they're just playing hide and seek. I'm like, there's a whole lot of nothing happening right
Yeah,
now. Like
yeah.
I don't know
I
what
get
they
you.
could have done to be fair. Like given the cast, I don't know what more could have been done to like make it interesting. but it's just I just didn't like it. I'm like, you have his henchmen kind of scouring the forest, blowing it up at random. Krillin's hiding Goku, and we're watching Gohan flying Icarus to Korin's tower.
I
This is
think
what we thought to
I
do.
think I think adding probably another Z fighter to the mix would have made more sense, and
But
would
who?
have.
But who at that point?
Yeah, or just
Oh,
something where it's like there's like a
yeah. I
little bit
mean,
more close call aspect. Like there wasn't again. It literally was just like they waited. It was just two sides of like we're waiting for the plot to start again. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like the fact that it's like y'all were just sitting like we're just gonna hang around until someone's key flares up. Like what? Like this was your plan? Like we're just gonna wait and then
yeah.
jump this 6-year-old boy on his pet dragon. Like I thought that was like a little like I'm like not too crazy about that part, but like y'all said, that last half, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna rehash all those points, but cinema. I mean, when I tell you on a rewatch, I'm like, yo, Piccolo, my man. And the thing that I liked about this movie that you pointed out, Joy, with Cooler, is like the scale was there, right? So like after he defeats the two guys and he's chasing Sazor through the forest, I'm like, bro, Sazor doesn't even see Piccolo at first. He sees the hands cutting through the trees. I'm like, bro, because like it gives you that perspective of like they know he's in the Namekian, but they don't know what Namekians can do. So you're seeing this as someone like, bro, where is this man even coming from? Through the trees. Coming through the trees like Predator. Just, he done killed two of my best friends.
Utilization of the environment, genius.
Yes. In a beautiful, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you see things like that, like Tim said, Piccolo is smiling while he's getting electrocuted and it's grabbing Buddy, hit him with the own attack. It's just those little things of like, I look at some of these movies of like, these were ways to flesh out the characters that the series didn't really get a chance to. And if this didn't put Piccolo as a kid, especially in your top 5, what else could have got it done?
Because honestly, bro, when Piccolo fought those henchmen, bro, like he was like the boogeyman to them because he
Yes.
took out the first dude quick, and then the second one, remember, he's like, "All right, Maze, make it hurt." So Piccolo kills him within 3 seconds, and then Piccolo shoots at Salsa flying away, and he like, "Wait, what is that?" He like, "Da da da." He's like, "Maze, I thought you." Piccolo teleports in front of him and just leans him out, and it's like, bro, like this dude, like I just left you. Like, what you mean? Like you.
I just turned around and there goes your smoking corpse. Piccolo was on fire, bro. Supporting assist off the back rim the whole movie for Goku, bro. Just NBA Street Volume 2 Game Breaker. Just so like it just seeing that to me was good. Again, I don't want to rehash points. I do take a little bit off the ending because I do feel like once Goku turned Super Saiyan, it got a little simplistic. Like he legit
The
hits
budget was
Cooler.
about to run out.
Yeah. He transforms, hits Cooler twice, and Cooler's like, you know what? It's supernova time. It's like, bro, what? Like, what happened to all that rah-rah? You was just calling yourself king of the castle, blowing up rocks by lifting your hands. You got gut punch. You're like, you know what? I think I'm tired of this planet. I'm like, bro, all right. So like I do think like in retrospect, I can see why Cooler is heralded so high in like the Dragon Ball Z movie villain. Like he earns that spot up there to me. Like he does everything that you guys said. He's someone where I'm like, I can't wait for them to bring him to the canon. If they write him even somewhat similar to how they wrote him in these movies. Because it just makes sense. It's one of those things where it's like you guys said, maybe they could have done a little bit more like explaining, but like all the core elements are there. He's Frieza's older brother. There's a corp of we've already established in the main series that these family takes these planets and sells them to the highest bidder. He was the older brother that got overlooked. He takes a lot of pride in his clan. His only shortcoming is his ego, and yeah, he's a problem. He's a problem. So 7 out of 10 for me. I think all the characters did what they needed to do.
Yeah. All that they could do.
Although they could do, yeah. I'm like, did Krillin and Gohan get defeated a little too easily? Sure. But I think going back to the whole budget thing, I'm like, if we had to kind of get to the main dance, them being around wouldn't have made much sense. It's just, it starts to kind of get to a point where I'm like, all right, I could see why I started to lose some of my love for Krillin because of these movies, right? If one thing's true for Piccolo, the opposite
Definitely
for
did.
Krillin, where I'm like, Krillin, come on, bro. Already. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't hit him with a solar flare, nothing. You just
No, from a
1-2.
strategy,
Yeah, nothing.
you couldn't Usopp your way out of this one, and
Right,
you're
you
the
know?
original Usopp.
So that's really, again, but it's 7 out of 10 for me. Still, Coola's easily top 3. Might be, when he might be number 1 in my personal list in terms of like
Mm,
movie villains.
mm.
But yeah, so to move on to the sequel, right? Jaws: The Revenge, Jurassic Park 2. We get to the Return of Cooler, which is a confusing name, right? Because you have the Revenge of Cooler and then the Return of Cooler. And it's like you could have easily swapped these out or done something different in the naming convention, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, quick synopsis. This movie 1000% breaks the continuity because Dende is the guardian of the Earth, which made no sense at this point in terms of where we were in the
Wow.
storyline. This metal planet of what seems like a metal planet comes to infiltrate the new Namek, starts draining it of its natural resources. Robots show up to take captors to fuel this star, the Big Getty star. Then they calls out to Goku for help. Goku, Master Roshi, who shows up again in these movies, right? Shows up. Yajirobe, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin show up on the planet to free it from the star. Just to Tim's point earlier, just know what type to fix the mistakes of the previous movie. Metacooler shows up immediately. Immediately. So him and Goku go off. Piccolo, Gohan, and Krillin are scrambling against androids. It's a beautiful scuffle. And then Goku and Metacooler get to it. Vegeta gets involved at a certain point. Everyone else kind of gets captured. Goku and Vegeta beats quote unquote Metacooler. Only for him to be replaced by about 100 of him. And they wake up in the middle of the Getty Star. They see Cooler's core, which is pretty much just his head and his brain. He forms an artificial body. Goku uses plot no jutsu to somehow get the power to make a ball of light that blows up Cooler from the inside. Roll credits. So I'll start with this one. I think in terms of plot, again, to Jory's point, it's simple but effective. Like the stakes get explained immediately. The Big Getty Star thing is a bit of a reach for me, right? I'm like, this random chip in space was just harvesting organic data and just made this sentient being that Cooler overpowered and controlled. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
it's
whatever, right?
basically like Joy said, Brainiac.
Yeah, right. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. This is how you want to make the mecha version of Mecha Frieza, but with Mecha Cooler, whatever. I like the fact that the henchmen are essentially just an assembly line of robots. Like it's not this.
There's
It's
no
almost
recruiting. There's no
there's no
recruiting.
recruiting. It almost feels like Terminator in like utilization of like, bro, they're just fighting machines who just you can't just beat them by overpowering them either. You have to punch them with all your your energy towards a specific point in their body to break them apart. I think it was done well. It allowed the rest of the cast to do something that still made them feel useful, while allowing Goku to do his thing. I do think that the fights were a little short, right? If I had to nitpick, but it makes up for it in brutality, bro. If you had never had watching back the episode we did about Dead Zone, and Tim was like, "You're fighting for your life." If you had any question in your mind that Cooler was trying to kill Goku, this was the movie that solidified it. He was trying to murder this man, like any chance he got. Oh, you know instant transmission? I know instant transmissions too. What's up?
No, it was the way he said it. Like, because
Yeah. Yeah.
he tried to hit Goku with the supernova,
Out the
and
gate.
then he is like, oh, that technique. He's like, yes, it's called instant transmission. He's like, I know, it's one of my favorite techniques. So and then within 1 second, it just gets. So that
Slugged him in the jaw.
means, Darren, when we initially fought, you had this in your arsenal already.
I don't think he did. I think it was acquired with the whole like memory of the Big Getty Star. Because if he had it, then he would have just instant transmission from the sun. Like it wouldn't have made sense. Like why get caught in your own blast at that point? I don't think he did.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just bro. He's trying to kill this man. Like every fight scene is like Goku barely escaping with his life. Like we see the fight, clashes, punches through Cooler. Cooler regenerates the arm, makes the arm stronger, crushes Goku's like neck.
Improves the design.
On the spot.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's crazy.
you know, like he's like seeing them through the technology. He's using eye blast, sends Vegeta's spine to the next realm when Vegeta shows up. Like it's just there was just so many things in this movie of like, bro, it's like they took the notes of the feedback they got from the crowd in the first movie and said, all right, bet. And just
No,
dialed it up.
there was a part where he grabbed Vegeta by the mouth and he
He
was
was
about
about
to
to
blow
kill
his
him.
head off. Like, bro, if Goku didn't come with that 2 second kick, you would have been like,
Bro,
bro,
he was
like,
trying to murder these dudes, bro. Murder them. Straight murder. So, you know,
Man, there was
go ahead.
yeah. No, you good, you
Yeah,
going,
so
man.
it's
Keep
just
going.
that was just kind of like my thing of like, bro, it's like again, it's like you took this concept because of course by this point we've established Mecha Frieza. It's like you even took Mecha Frieza and made him better again. Like this is one of the things where it's like the copy and paste thing is usually the thing we critique about Dragon Ball. I'm like, no, dude, if this is what y'all was
bro,
on,
that chrome finish, like when he pulled up the first time, like when they was looking at him, they was like, wait, what? And
fire,
and that
bro.
Namekian sun was just gleaming, like, bro, just gleaming.
Triple platinum in the streets, bro.
But then, even on a story aspect, like you could tell how smart that was. Like, how do I draw them out? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there was a Namekian. Oh yeah, the Nemekis, they found a new planet. Oh,
So if I go
okay.
to there, he'll show up at
Once
some point.
again, something that makes sense.
That
Cooler
carry.
is a problem, dog.
Yeah, and even just the whole thing of like you think about again your child brain of like a plot twist, right? Of like normally you see a villain get defeated, like when Vegeta like finger blasts Cooler to the heavens, you're like, bro, they did it. Senzu beans and high fives all around, and you see the rock just fall off the cliff, and they
And you
look
just see
up.
an army.
That's the first time my heart dropped. I said, yo, y'all spent all this time for what?
All that for a drop of blood.
All I'm like,
Yeah,
and then they rush. I said,
The fact that they didn't even show the fight of how bad they got beat up.
yeah,
you didn't need,
yeah.
but that's how effective it was. You didn't need
You
to.
didn't need to.
You just see them
Oh, that
strung
was
up on
the
strings. I'm like,
most terrifying. They look up. Oh, there's more. I was like, yo, I was thought like, this is steak. This is what you call steaks, man.
To be honest, when I was in high school, I had that as a wallpaper when they were both worn out,
I don't
and
blame
you
you.
see them coming down the mountain. I
One
had
of
that
them
as a
just
wallpaper.
sliding down the mountain, like,
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, you could just fly to him, but you know you won.
Yep. And
And
it's
and
like, go ahead. It's just,
that's
I
such a
love this like
cooler
child
thing
brain. It's
for
like,
him to do. Yeah,
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 bro.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And you just like, not because we just saw Goku and Vegeta team up for the first time ever, right? If you think about Dragon Ball Z, this is the first time we've seen Goku and Vegeta fighting together on screen, doing these dual attacks.
Losing and the entrance. The Vegeta entrance on the chalkboard for best entrances, dog. For best
Yes,
entrances
this is
for a
up there.
mixtape.
This is up
Vegeta,
there.
this is the first. This is the first. Hey, yo, man, Vegeta body that entrance, man.
The drop kick to the
Okay.
neck.
Yeah. He did what Kanye did on Lil Wayne's Lollipop remix. That's what he did, man.
Yeah,
And
the
so,
drop
yeah.
kick to the neck, boy, man. So that's essentially my thoughts. I just feel like this is probably a 9 out of 10 for me. My only critique is
Okay.
like the art is a little wonky in this movie for whatever reason. Like whoever animated it, like there's a couple of shots where it just looks off.
Oh,
For
don't
what?
worry. We're getting our remakes.
No, I know. Yeah, like the art's a little off in certain places, but as far as like execution from beginning to end, I was well pleased. What are y'all thoughts?
I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8. Yeah, even the past games, like Metal Cooler was one of my favorite characters to play as, bro. Like it's just that design. Like even though he didn't come back in his final form, it's just like you didn't care. You didn't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Like this form was such an appealing masterpiece. It's Like, wow, bro. And it's the fact that he made himself his own henchman. He made drones of himself. Like the fact that y'all did all of that and you didn't even realize the real one is inside the ship. It's just a piece of flesh attached to wires. And it's like, bro, that is crazy. Now, how they defeated him, that's still a bit.
Yeah,
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 it's a little
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
It was whack.
convoluted.
It
It's a
got
little
me.
It's
It got
whack.
me.
convoluted.
It was whack. It got me hot.
Yeah, a little
It got me
convoluted.
hot. I'm like, yo, you didn't have a fail safe for this, but you know, that's what really got me hot. I'm like, dog,
Yeah, and it was
And
like,
not only
yeah,
that, it was the fact that they're half dead. He's like, I've drained you of your energy, and they're like, nope, no, you didn't. Just kidding. And
yeah,
then
we still have chakra left, Sasuke.
we Saiyans have no limits. What do you mean?
no man, but it was great, man. It was great.
Dog, this is a struggle, dog. Them boys not looking cool at all. They're like, yo, we did it. We did it, dog. Triple overtime. LeBron got the pass by an accident and pass.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is that, man. For me, man, yeah, like I mean, I'm not gonna stay too long on it, man, but I think there was a lot of scenes that stuck out to me, but a lot of funny scenes. I think there was a scene where they all got captured on the ship as Gohan pick Krillin, and then they're like, are you ready? And the robot comes out of nowhere. Ready for what? I'll chop you up. What? I'm going to chop you up for data. And they start losing, they start freaking out. That to me was, yo,
Yeah.
tears.
When
I wasn't
Yajirobe punches
expecting
him,
it.
and he was like, "You have a lot of
Yeah.
energy. You can go first." It's like,
Yo, I
whoa.
was just like, oh, this was hilarious. And I'm like, man, when Dragon Ball Z does Slice of Life, it's that's why some of those are some of my favorite episodes. It's not the fighting episodes, man. And I hate the fact that I say that, but it is, man. So but you know, to get to the point of the movie, man, when Cooler and Goku both do the instant transmission and they doing the run, and
The
after that
the
he
dance.
the
Hmm.
dance he teleports inside the instant transmission and grabs. When I saw that, I started standing up again. I said, "Nah, this dog, he 2 for 2, man. He villain of the slams Goku on them little the dog. It disintegrates, and I'm like, dog, this is crazy." Then Goku's about to, there was a gut punch that Goku had to experience, dog.
I forgot about that. I forgot
That
about
gut
that.
punch, man, I've never felt. Didn't he roll on the floor
Yeah.
after? Man, and then Cooler just standing like Michael Jackson, dog, looking at him like, "Yo, man, I like that right there." The design, man, and then the one thing I liked about Cooler is like he's not all the way silver. There's parts that's a different colored metal,
Hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it just makes the design look even more phenomenal. And so, you know, and so with the fight going on, Vegeta jumps in. Then it's like, said, you know, Vegeta's now in the part of the party. But man, what that leg drop, that when he caught Vegeta leg, man, I said, oh my goodness.
And
Oh
he
man,
even
both
like to 10's point, he didn't get a chance to scream. He as he's screaming in pain, Cooler's grabbing his face. I'm like,
no,
bro.
but Goku's neck was almost snapped in half, man. It- he grabbed like it was clothing, like he was grabbing a coat Goku's neck. I'm like, yo, if he wasn't a Saiyan,
Done.
dog, and Benito, man. um, but yeah, man, when it gets to the part where they finally lose, you know, the cliffside part where there's 1,000 coolers, I was like, man, this felt like the Matrix, where you, where it's Morpheus and Trinity looking at Miss Agent Smith. You know, it's done. Give up, give up. So now they're
Mm-hmm.
in the ship, and like I had a hard time. Like, okay, so you know, why would you tell them all this anyway? But
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Why would you tell
90s,
them all
90s villain,
this?
bro. 90s villain exposition.
Why
You
would you
know.
tell them this? And then so
Yeah.
now I'm looking at Cooler. I'm like, Cooler, like you didn't think to build yourself a superb body to you know, like you didn't have to stay like this.
Mm.
So I'm like, he didn't think of making himself a superb body to where that regular cooler, where he could have that his final form probably would have looked a little bit more enhanced, and now he would have made more sense. But they didn't do that at all. So I was just like, okay, that was um that was a missed opportunity. But um, that's why that movie's probably not in I don't like it as much as the first one, but it's
Hmm.
there. I give it an 8. Because of that scene, because of how it ended, was just like it was so I felt like cheated, man. Like, all right, let's finish up in 30 minutes.
That's a fair critique.
Yeah,
That's a fair
so
critique.
that's where I kind of left it because I'm like, no, Cooler would have had a failsafe. If this guy can think enough to build minions of himself, why didn't he say, yo, I'm gonna give myself a body that doesn't even get affected by Blaster Sun? Something like that. Because the Big Getty Star is taking over the planet.
Hmm.
You didn't think of a failsafe, so this doesn't happen again. You don't seem like the guy that lets the same thing happen twice, you know? And so yeah, that's where I left it. But yeah,
No,
that's it.
that's a fair critique. I
Yeah,
have no rebuttal. I mean, that's
that's it.
fair. I think they could have handled the ending a little bit better. Um,
I and I
it's
actually
something.
like the Big Getty Star. It's actually cool.
It's a great
It's
concept.
random. It's
It's
just
just
random.
yeah. It just the
Just
way
random.
like a random chip in space. Like what?
It's just random.
Yeah, the SD card just had unlimited storage, and you're just like, huh? Tim, you
Quanta
got
bytes. Like I'm just
Tim, you got any thoughts on this movie before we move on?
No, bro. Like we pretty much covered all the same points because, like, I did realize this was a much more shorter movie than the
Mm-hmm.
other ones. It
it
was
was
very
definitely short.
straightforward to the plot, to the end, type of feel. And I felt like it was a good conclusion to Cooler. Like, they're like, all right, y'all wanted some more action? We gave it to y'all. The
Mm-hmm.
technique was there, the brutality was there, the seriousness of the fights was there, the comic relief was there.
Who
It was a good
directed
send
that one,
off.
by the way? They're like unmatched when it comes to stakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, it's one of again upon rewatch. Like, I've always enjoyed it, but upon rewatch, I'm like through adult eyes, I'm like this movie was fantastic.
Yep.
Well worth the blockbuster rental at the time.
Yeah. Oh man, what them trips to blockbusters was A1, man. That was the
Well
greatest
worth the
Friday
rental.
ever. Greatest Fridays ever, man. Pizza,
Man.
Dragon Ball Z movie,
Yeah.
Saturday, the next day. Man.
Yeah. So for our last movie of the night, we're talking about Super Android 13. Now, this movie seems to take place sometime before Cell is introduced. It seems like
Yeah.
so. Like the concept of Cell is there, right? The android absorbs the two other androids, but in terms of like where it takes place, they haven't come across Cell. They haven't got to the hyperbolic time chamber. None of that has happened yet. It's the androids are out, but Goku's also recovered from the heart virus, but hasn't done anything as of yet. Um, Pretty much you find out that Dr. Dro's computer was always working. He uploaded his I guess you could say what's the word I'm looking for? Not identity.
Appearance?
Appearance,
Likeness?
likeness. There we go. Likeness. Uploaded his likeness to his computer. His computer keeps cranking out androids. We get 13, 14, and 15 with very, very unique designs, might I add. They pull up on Goku during a shopping trip of all places and
Which I
just
loved.
so do I. I'm like, this is an amazing, amazing introduction to
I
some villains.
actually remember the beginning part.
Hmm.
Remember
Ah,
it was another
yes.
flashback.
Yeah, it was. It was. It
Yeah.
was. It
Yeah.
was. Yeah, it was. It was. And there's a lot of hints of like how this computer ties into Dr. Dro himself. But I'm talking about in terms of like how the main villains get introduced. It's just like they walk through the city, walking through cop cars, walking through glass, walking through the elevator, and just go underneath the room and light it up. Um, so you have this really unique scene where Goku's essentially fighting them in the city at first. Trunks shows up. They book it to the Arctic, which is something we haven't seen in a couple of movies at this point. Get to throwing hands. Vegeta makes arguably the greatest entrance of all time in Dragon Ball Z movie history, bar
Jeez
none.
Louise. My
He's had a couple
goodness.
other contenders, but this may be his best entrance. It don't. The thing is, we'll talk about it in a second. But I'm like, that entrance don't even make sense when you
It
think about what
don't.
happened,
Yeah.
because he had to deflect the blast first. So like, you came underneath, deflected the blast, then went into the glacier to show backup. Top might be my number one. I don't out of all the entrances he has.
No, that's up there.
Yeah,
That's even Piccolo's entrance was sick.
bro, the ice like go on here, like knows he's there, but you just see the ice break up, the hands come out, grab 13.
Yeah, even Piccolo's entrance was fire. Like we can't even like everybody was raw in this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody was raw. Like you know what I'm saying? Everybody was raw.
Yeah. If you think about in terms of like recency bias, like yes, granted, Super 13 is kind of like the halfway point in terms of movies, right? Like in terms of the original movies at least. But in terms of recency bias, when people think about this movie and you talk about iconic shots, this movie has a lot of iconic shots.
Yes it do. Yes it do.
Vegeta out the glacier, Trunks cutting 14 clean in half.
Goku getting punched in the balls.
Yeah, Goku almost losing Goten. Preconception.
Man, Piccolo getting the Bane Batman I mean
No,
Vegeta getting the
Vegeta.
Bane Batman
Vegeta getting
treatment.
his spine
Gee.
snapped.
He
I
was
thought he
out.
died.
That was
I
it.
thought he
That
died.
was
I
it.
thought he died.
Yeah, that was it, man.
I thought he died.
No.
Because no one's body's supposed to bend that way. The way he got put over that knee.
He got folded laundry, man. Laundry turned into laundry, dog.
Mm-hmm. And there's even a spin on the classic, because one of the critiques through most of the movies before the Super Saiyan transformation is like every villain gets defeated by some form of spirit bomb, right? Weelo, Turles, Slug. But Goku brings back the spirit bomb and absorbs it and just becomes the one. At that point, just becomes the one, essentially. and the movie's over. So, fellas, let me ask you, what did you guys think about this movie?
It was cool, man. I love the end. I mean at the beginning, and I would say from the flashback, because ever since from what Jory told me, I was like I couldn't unsee it. That you find out that 13 is based on Dr. Gero when he was young, and then of course like it even expands more into the story because the beginning scene is you see 17 kill Dr. Gero.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this connects so much good with lore wise. He was the failsafe. This was probably his first attempt at making like an android body, something like that. Because you could tell, like, even with the way how he transformed by absorbing the androids, I guess, like you
Yeah.
could tell, like, this was probably like the prototype before Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Like before, because remember, Cell is a bio android. This one was still
Fully
like
mechanical, yeah.
Terminator type of stuff. I did not like the transformation. I was like,
Hated
you
it.
give us this blue and orange Super Saiyan haired looking Hulk,
Very
lumberjack
weird,
looking
yeah.
Hulk, and I was like, okay. I mean, his moves they look great. That move to this day,
Yeah, his moves
SS Deadly Bomber. And then, of course, the
beautiful.
brutality in his punches, like it was great, man. But I just felt like the design could have been so much better, bro. I was like, bro, like I get it because we were still on the hype train of Cell. I was like, this was the best he could think of in terms of a design for a transformation.
Not the greatest.
It was not. It was not, bro.
Not.
It was not. It was not. Even like when I like the use of the characters when they because it's been a while since any characters were good against the henchmen since Piccolo.
True.
So like even like they split off. Trunks fought this guy, Vegeta fought that guy, and then that little man was throwing hands with Vegeta. Vegeta grabbed him. He's like, "Where did that grin go?" And he just transformed. His hat flew
That
off.
right there, man.
But you could tell, you could
Oh,
still tell, like even in their Super Saiyan form, they were still formidable allies. Because I remember one time, even as Super Saiyan, dude was like doing this one move on Vegeta, like da 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 with his feet, like a little midget, like that, pa 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 pa. Pa. And then
Yeah,
even
they're
like
keeping up.
yeah, they were keeping up, and I did like that because that's That's what I was expecting when the Z Fighters fought Turles's crew. Like, they're giving you their best, but like, bro, to one shot them though,
Mm-hmm.
no.
It's always best in Dragon Ball when there's a dance. When someone is just overpowering the other person, it gets boring especially because you've seen it a gazillion times in the series. But when there's a little dance, where you're not quite sure how it's gonna go. A1, just
Yeah, man. So I mean, it was a great movie. I gave that a 9. I gave that a 9. It was very enjoyable to me. And of course, oh yeah, we're back to the Arctic.
yeah. But we haven't been there in a couple movies, right? Like it's not something that you see very
To be
often.
honest,
It
that
never
was
shows up in the main series.
It was
to
a
be
better
honest, that was
Arctic
the
movie.
last
Yeah.
time we been to the Arctic until Super
Yeah.
Broly came.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was a better Arctic. That was actually a dope Arctic though.
mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm up. Y'all
Yeah,
done?
go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. Okay.
You're good to go.
Okay, man. I think there's a lot of points I could make on this one, man. Okay, number one, the scenery. I love that interaction where Goku's shopping with Chi-Chi. I mean, it was probably to me some of the best intros for a movie. You see Goku in his day-to-day life, and I think it just made Goku more interesting to see him do regular stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With Chi-Chi, he has to go shopping. Oh yeah, he's married, man. So this is what you got to do when you marry. You know what I'm saying? So now, um, he's at a job interview of all things. This is hilarious, man. Goku don't care. Did he? Chi-Chi, I gotta go.
You're thinking about
His
Broly.
favorite thing or hobby? That's Broly.
Job interviews Broly. Yeah.
Hey, y'all forgive me, dog. Y'all forgive me too. I'm sorry, y'all boys.
I mean, they tie into each other, but you think
Yeah,
about
but
Broly. The job interview
okay,
is
no,
Broly.
that is Broly. No, they're shopping. They're at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
That's fire. Yeah, those kids when they was walking through the cars, oh, like it was paper. Android 14, dog. To me, man, that's probably one of my favorite designs in a villain, man.
Yeah,
I
Did you
loved Android,
realize one was a black dude and the other one was a Native American, and of
a
course,
Native
13
American,
was
yeah,
redneck.
redneck, yeah,
which is like an American. Like I don't think he's that way in the Japanese thing per se, but I'm not mad at. I'm like, this was one of those dub decisions that made perfect sense.
man,
I did wish there was
man,
more red ribbon lore because, like that, like Joy, like your point, I was like, bro, I is like, wow,
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
So I was
yeah,
expecting a little bit more red ribbon lore. I mean, 13, he hinted at it because when he was talking there, he's like, oh, yeah, we all supposed to let bygones be bygones, but that ain't how that's going to work. I was programmed to kill you. And that's when they started
yeah,
cursing. When they started to
yeah,
really up the
yeah.
cursing, I was
Mm-hmm.
like,
Man, that made me love 13. Man, that thing had me in tears. Oh, he said, I'm here to kill Goku. He said, where you going with that $30 haircut, boy? I'm like, yo, this right there. Man,
because what would have made this movie more compounded? Like, let's just say, like, yes, 13 is like, Dr. Giro's replacement body or was going to be. It would have been interesting to see flashbacks of what was Dr. Giro's experience in the Red Ribbon Army. That, how was he the sole survivor from whatever Goku did? And what did he do over the years to plan?
Mm.
That would have been interesting because, like, if you're the carbon copy of that, you should have his memories. And I feel like that would have been interesting dialogue. I was like, oh yeah, it's because of what you did. It's like, I don't even know you. Do you? Look at me a little bit. Actually, but yes, he did meet Dr. Jiro because when he fought 19, he's like, take a good look at me. Take a good look at me.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this is also like the side effect of the '90s, bro. Like the
Yeah.
'90s, is like if you got lore,
Good luck.
take it while you can, because otherwise,
man, listen, man. So with that part, man, I love the scenery about the movie. I wish they stayed longer in the city, but
Casualties.
drag.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, but that would have also raised stakes,
But that's why they
So
left the city. It was because they
yeah,
like, we don't want people
yeah.
to die.
Well, no, which was cool. I wish there was more of a note, like, yo, we're not talking. We're not gonna talk this out. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
and then there would have been probably would have been a forced hand to where, them leaving to the polar ice caps. So, man, I think when Trunks pulled out his sword and Android 14 caught it, and then
Like this.
that's when I was like, yeah, dog, y'all regular forms he's not Frieza. And I was like, this is gonna be a great movie. Um, Android 13, when he showed up, you felt like, yo, this is not gonna go down like how they thought it was going to go down, man. He was giving them problems. And then he was mouthy, which was hilarious to me, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like this dude, does Dr. Gero like this? Was he this arrogant? Um, you feel me? Like, was he this arrogant? I'm like, this man might as well be Stone Cold Steve Austin in Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he was
Yeah. No, actually, yeah.
he was just rapping, man,
Mm.
going, beating people. His design was interesting. It wasn't like the greatest, but it became the greatest. It became a favorite design. I still think 14 was amazing. I don't like 15's design. You
I'm
already know
not
for obvious
crazy about it
purpose.
either. Yeah, it
Obvious
does look
purposes.
it
It's
walks that line
exaggerated.
of
Too
yeah,
exaggerated. I'm like,
yeah,
how is this how you see every person of color? Like it's like it just you just draw them unrealistic. It just doesn't make any sense.
You got the Jinx
Um,
effect.
yeah. You know what's
yeah,
wild too? Just for a quick, completely off topic thing is you look at something like that. I'm like, bro, wasn't Cowboy Bebop out around the same time as this? And black people looked immaculate in that show. So I'm just like,
that's
what?
the
What are we doing here?
most accurate portrayal of
Yeah.
black folks, man. The
just
personality,
yeah,
the swagger.
just a random aside. I'm just like, man, it's not like you didn't have things to
Hey,
pull
and
from.
and it is that same reason why I just don't like I can't stand Darkshine. I hate Darkshine after finding out
Yeah, yeah.
you
We don't have
know,
to get off topic, but it
yeah,
just made me think.
yeah.
I'm like, it's not like this was across the board and every Japanese animator was like it was just Dragon Ball for some odd and Pokemon for some odd reason they
Oh,
just can't
there were
make
none in
them.
Pokemon. There were no, you know, we're gonna make this character obviously have crazy hair, but he's not
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
But anyway, he's a native, but not yeah. But anyway, so
Mm.
now we get to the fighting, man. Vegeta entrance, Piccolo, uh, Trunks being a hero, Trunks being like you know he just showed up. Trunks not being a part of the film movie, and I love that version of Trunks, man. You know, like long hair Trunks, man. It's just.
No,
Or
that
was it long
was
hair Trunks? It wasn't. It was
His hair
short
was
hair
still
Trunks.
short, but you
Okay,
know
cool. Still
what
short.
you made me think about, like in terms of just like again that childhood memory aspect. When they all go Super Saiyan at the same time, bro, I stood up because you see Krillin like do the fist grab, like yeah, and you
Yeah,
just see the
yeah,
three
yeah.
different lines. I'm like, it's it, as a kid, what more could I ask for?
Okay. You know what else,
And
man?
then you see 15
Yeah,
take
yeah.
the and Vegeta gets the
Man, those were some of my favorite finishers. With Cell, I mean not Cell, with Vegeta and Trunks. Trunks runs at him. You don't know what
mm-hmm.
13 turns around, his body splits in half, blows up. Vegeta's looking at 15 still disrespecting him, decides to take another drink. Vegeta, after that.
And I remember Vegeta's line when they pulled up on 13. That he was like, "Oh, inferior craftsmanship, to say the
Mm-hmm.
least." Like it's like the gritty talk. Like, "Oh yeah, you pieces of junk."
Mm-hmm. Man.
Yo, he punches through him. 15 turns around, starts laughing, holds his head,
Head
blows
folds to his
up,
hands, fam. Oh
head
my
fo
goodness.
blows up. I said, if y'all don't like Vegeta now, it's just I didn't want to like Vegeta. Like Vegeta, maybe I was like, this man broke. And I'm sitting in the chair. Now it goes to Looney Town to where he absorbs the AC engines.
The
the car
bombs and the
carbureted,
microchips. Yeah.
the microchips, and then I'm just like,
Okay. Hulk mode.
Yeah.
it would have been cooler if he looked like 16, but like a super form of 16, right? To honor his son, that would have been to me genius.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
it's one of those things where like I do wonder if they felt like creatively stifled, like because to your point, his design is good. Like 13's design is good, so it's kind of like we kind of have to make him stronger because otherwise he's just gonna get jumped and it's over. But we don't know how to make him better than how we've already
I,
designed
f-
him.
you know what else is crazy? I feel like his designs are used for BoJack. When
Mm,
BoJack turned soup, his rejected designs to me at least. The reason why I say that is because they have a lot of similarities.
They
This
do,
is what 13 would have probably looked like. Not to say he would have been green, but just probably more of
at
aesthetic.
that point,
That's why I
no, at
said
that point, I kind of felt like they just didn't really know what to do with certain super forms that didn't involve a color palette.
yeah.
Just make them bigger, like
Make
big
him bigger. We
Hulkish
don't.
type of
Yeah,
demeanors. Like to be honest, like if you're really being like legit about it, the only real transformation that we got, it was the same thing with Broly, it was the same thing with BoJack. Like the main one that we got something different was Janemba when he went from fat to slim demon
hmm. I mean, technically, Hirudegarn too, if you want to think about it. Like he went from like a skull faced demon to like an insect. It was
to a bug.
weird.
Yeah,
It was weird. Like it was so like okay. But yeah, everything else was like you said, buffer, make him buffer, buffer and brighter.
yeah. And then
Turn that contrast
this
up.
is where like I kind of felt like that's where they lost all creativity because I get it. He's a different type of android. You can't really do what you did with Cell. So like, all right. So
but
how do
this is
you?
awful, man. This is
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
awful.
it's really bad.
This is I got angry when I saw this as a kid. I'm like, dog, they drew him one time. Because when I draw villains, I draw them one time. They drew this man one time and then, yep, man.
Yeah, he
Uh,
gets Super Saiyan hair. Why? His skin turns blue. Why? I don't know. But
yeah.
it's,
Because his look like his base look was very menacing. Like I do feel like you could have done something with that made it good.
I think I think they got stuck because his regular design is good. Like it's a solid design. So I think it was just like we need to make him stronger, but how? And again, remember this is the '90s, guys. This is when every Marvel hero had biceps on top of their triceps on top of their quadriceps in their arm. Like every muscular person had muscles on muscles. This is the beginning of the WWE era where everyone is just a walking six pack. So I feel like it kind of is a sign of the times as well to some degree in design, where it was just like everyone had eight packs and bench press the world in their free time.
Yeah.
But Joy, you had anything else to say on it, or
but no, that's it, man. I mean, this is where I was actually kind of waiting for credits to roll because the design killed it for me, dog.
mm,
He didn't look cool enough for me to feel like he just felt stupid. He lost all form of techniques. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that because yeah, Goku was
no,
getting. He had
he.
the techniques. I take that back.
It was another movie where I'm like, yo, these men are dead. Like
When they were getting beat up, when Goku was getting beat up in the ice caps, that was terrible. I was like, yo, this man moving through
he's keeping you afloat with his punches and his kicks. Your body is yearning to be on the floor, and he's just like, nope.
Tekken combos, Tekken 8 combos,
Hit the
juggles, man,
Kazuya string.
dragging off streams, man. Oh yeah, but yeah, that's it. I mean, this is a 7.5.
Okay.
Okay.
7.5. It's I still like it. It's just reasons why I don't give it an 8 kind of outweigh. They kind of nerf the overall achievement of what the Saiyans did. But I will say this. I love the ending when it's Piccolo and Vegeta on that single ice cap, not talking to each other.
Very in character.
That was that was so mm. And and I love that, man. And I think that's where I stand with that film. 7.5.
Even the Ant made there's a point about the Turles movie. Remember, they was all trying to hold him back as Goku prepared the Spirit Bomb. The same thing happened in this movie where it was Trunks, it was Vegeta, it was Piccolo as well. And I remember when Piccolo got behind him and he tried to
Yeah,
suplex him,
bro.
and
Toss him up. And then he hits Piccolo with the elbow and just steps on his face and powers him. I'm like, yo.
Yeah,
Again,
that was
I
that was
thought they
insane. Yeah.
died,
and I
bro.
remember
My child mind, I'm like,
he broke
they're no
Trunks'
longer.
sword and he just blasted him into the sky.
Yeah, I'm like, they're no longer in the land of the living. He's killed everyone, including Gohan. Like, because he tries to shoot at Goku and Gohan gets in the way. And in the shot, you don't see Gohan's legs. I'm like, well, he's dead.
Oh man.
He
Yeah,
died.
dog. I think that's it, man. To be honest with you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We getting into the more spicier topics next pod, so
Yeah.
super spicy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
This is
yeah,
where the
man.
fandom stays permanently divided next
Oh
couple of
boy, they gonna
movies.
come for you, man.
Oh,
It's
bro,
come.
I have been waiting. If
Oh
they
man.
thought our take with Garlic Jr. was spicy, what I had to say about Broly is going to be
Hey, kid, that thumbnail gonna be crazy, dog. You might as well just put the bin there, dog. The bin emoji, dog. You,
Broly's head popping
yo,
out
what? Hey,
because
if we don't blow up in subscribers after this, man, oh man, I don't know what to tell you. I
yeah,
don't know what to tell you.
I have my thoughts. I have my
I,
thoughts.
yo, when I thought Ant was I almost stopped talking to him. I said, how he blasphemed? He's not a Dragon. He can't be a Dragon Ball Z fan. And I was mad because it was making sense. So
Yeah.
I'll say in closing, let
oh
y'all,
man.
you Broly fans should be happy that Toriyama rewrote the character because
Hey, no previews, no previews, no previews, no previews, sir, no previews. They gotta tune in next time. Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
every
Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. We save it for
I
next
see a
time.
trilogy of trash cans lined up
Oh,
next to
hey,
each other.
listen. Hey, listen, kid. No previews, kid. We not Toonami. We not giving no previews,
Okay,
man.
fair enough. Yeah. So in
Next
closing,
time on
yeah,
Next time on the PSS
yeah. In
podcast.
closing, yeah. Next on the PSS podcast. In closing, I say I give Super 13 an 8 out of 10. I liked it a lot. I do think it loses something once he transforms. But I'd say he's an underrated villain. In hindsight, when people think about movie villains, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. Is what I'll
Hmm.
say.
He is now because of memes. He
Yes,
is now.
yes, yes,
He
yes,
is now.
yes.
But
The
he
clip
was
community
always
has
right there
like,
for he's in my he's in there. He's in my list for top 5.
yeah,
He's in my list because after that it doesn't get any better.
it doesn't.
After where we're going, it does not
It
get any
it,
better.
it
We got one golden gem from
in the
we could
next
say
couple of
two,
movies.
but we got a couple of golden gems, but those don't really count in my opinion. They count, but they're
I'll say it like this, and in terms just of preview, because I'm not going to say which one.
yeah.
In these next couple of movies, my personal favorite Dragon Ball
The
movie is
original
there.
13. That's what I mean, Tim. The original 13. That's what
Oh
I mean.
yeah,
Because
no. Even
do they
I'm
count
saying
for
no.
us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they
no. In
don't.
the
You know.
original 13, I'm talking about the original 13.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. In the
anything with
original
the
13, it
yeah.
does not go up down. We only got one gem.
There's one movie that I won't spoil. We'll talk about it. We talk about it. That is my personal favorite. But to your
Mm,
point, it's not because of the villain. So
okay.
do with
Okay.
that what you will.
All
It's
right.
like everything about it. I'm like, man. Every time I rewatch this,
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh
So
boy.
thank y'all for tuning in. If you've been watching this has been another special anime corner. I am Antonius the Gamer, Super SSS Rank, Mikkel Smith, Press Start Select Podcast with our Dragon Ball Z movies in retrospect. Till next time.